that fool. Hit him, 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 hit him. Smash him up, watch that move. Went too swift, can't catch these dudes. Hey, hit him, 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 hit him. Listen, 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 hit him, listen. This Eagles talk, this talk Eagles. Philly bleed green, it's from your people. Fly, Eagles, fly. Let's peep the squad. Big Pat Shell and Dante the Dark Child. Drop the stats on them, drop the facts on them. Spur King, baby, let's get it on.
Hey, fam, it's your man Dante the Dark Knight, and welcome to another edition of Eagles Talk, our annual schedule release prediction show. Yes, the schedule's been out for a couple of weeks. We're just a little behind, but we couldn't let you guys down. This is what we do annually. We come, and when that schedule is released, we give you a game-by-game prediction of how we think the season's going to play out, even before training camp. Yeah, that's what makes it so exciting. So, without further ado, no, I'm not going to go into that. I'll wait a little bit, but I will go into you are watching Eagles Talk, the most unique Eagles coverage show around that is by Eagles fans for Eagles fans. And on this show, we like to talk about our favorite football team, that is the Philadelphia Eagles, and we do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. So we're going to get this out of the way because I know Pat's not going to be bugging me after I talk for 2 minutes about we got to do shots. I'll get it out of the way right now. So everybody get ready. Let's have our shots.
Are we doing it right now?
Yeah, we're going to get right into it. So we, you know how we get a little long-winded while we go game by game. We got to get this thing out of the way right now. Hold up. Let me get the soundboard up here. Let me see. All right. All right, we could. All right, so Pat is doing the Woodford Reserve. You got a brand bottle of that? All right, he's going to stay with that Woodford Reserve. I am doing, cranberry.
I got some Tito's lemon drop shots.
She got Tito's lemon drop shots, and you guys out there, please let me know what you're doing. So, without further ado, we're going to take it down the hatch. 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the You're now listening to the
I forgot to take that loop off. Okay, all right. So we're going to get right into it. All right, last year, one of us was exactly correct on the prediction of what the Eagles' regular season record would be. And that person, is usually right. That person is usually right a lot of the times on the show. And so, it's probably quite obvious that you guys have probably guessed who that was. Yes, that was one Dark Knight here, 14-3. I called it 14-3 last year. The guys, my co-hosts, battle for second, tie for second, 15-2 themselves. And you know what's funny about this is that when people look at this show, and especially non-Eagle fans, right? Even some Eagles fans, they look at the show and they may respect our analysis and our opinion, but when we do the prediction show, I think they think we're homerish in this. Like when we came out of this show last year, people was like, what are they thinking about? 15-2. That's unrealistic. 14-3. Unrealistic. What are they talking about? We knew what we were talking about.
Yes,
we knew what we were talking about. 14-3, 15-2 wasn't off the mark, and we won the Super Bowl. We knew that. And I feel just as confident this year. So it's going to be exciting.
We was right. Just say we were right.
We were right.
We're not being homers. We were right. I was especially right about my quarterback. Who's the MVP? Who the MVP? Wait a minute. What's it say?
Love hurts.
Love hurts.
Oh man,
talk about it. Let's talk about just being right for like another 5 minutes.
For all everybody wondering, yes, Dark Knight did predict a 14-3 record. Me and Michelle had the same record at 15-2. Listen, we would have, me and Michelle would have been correct if it wasn't for that Jalen Hurts game against the Washington Commanders.
Talk about it.
The concussion game, the cheap shot, whatever. We would have been 15-2, but it is all good because you know what? It doesn't matter. We are the champs.
We are the champs, and it still feels good.
And my
Even,
quarterback's the MVP.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
mhm.
It is great. It's a great feeling to really sit back and listen to all these commentators hate on our Philadelphia Eagles.
They still hate him.
Talk about our quarterback. He's not elite. Talk about, it's not Jalen. It's the running back. It's the running game. Nick Wright you could date back to when AJ said the passing game. It's not the head coach. The head coach is not elite. Listen, it doesn't matter. I'm not reacting like I was before because when you're a champion, you don't look at the peasants like you did before. Oh, you argue amongst yourselves down there in the cellar somewhere. we have bigger things to accomplish.
Well, I'm going to add, and this will be the last time that this name will be allowed to be uttered on this program. But I'm going to add Nick Wright to the names we do not mention on this program.
No,
along with that,
we need that. We need
along
that
with that coach that we had that tore the team apart.
Oh,
We will no longer mention that name. He is such a hater and it's so wrong on everything.
Yeah.
And he hasn't. I don't think he's apologized or walked back any of his
No.
utterly, blasphemous talk from last year about Saquon being a bad choice. We should have never picked him up. That didn't make any sense. And Jalen Hurts not being. Look, we do not mention that name on this program ever again. Let's all agree. And you guys, even in the chat room, do not mention
I
that
didn't like him
idiot's
from
name.
jump. Him. There's a couple people that are on this shit list. To be honest with you.
So
we have but that's what happens when you sit at the top of the throne. You get a lot of haters and people trying to knock you off. So it just is what it is. They knew it. They saw the greatness. That's why they were
Mhm.
so bad. There was nothing you could do. Then we trying to ban the tush push. You tried that twice. That didn't work. We tush pushed you back.
the crazy thing about that, Michelle, the final tally was 22-10. That was a shot at the Green Bay Packers because the final score in the divisional game against the Packers was what?
22-10.
Yep.
I love it. I love those haters. I love those conversations. I know we said we want to ban that person, but it's funny. We get their take. It's funny to get these former quarterback takes. It's funny to get these former athletes takes. It's funny to get these couch potato takes on our Philadelphia Eagles, and all they do is win.
Mhm.
They don't put Jalen in the top five. They say he's ascending. He can be there, but he doesn't do it for me. I want to start a franchise. I mean, he wins. Don't
I don't.
you want a quarterback that wins?
I really don't care. Whatever they think is whatever they think. We have 2 Super Bowls. We're the Super Bowl champs. They can continue thinking the way they
Yep.
think. But for all I care, just give me the wins, give me the championships. I'll take all that. And I'm pretty sure that Jalen Hurts feels the same way. He doesn't hear this noise.
Yeah.
He doesn't hear this. He's already focused on this next mission, which is this upcoming season. The last mission is over. That Mission Impossible is over. We're on to Mission Impossible 3 now. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And he's just focused on this mission this year. He's not even hearing any of that. And that is one of the many things I love about this guy. He has that Kobe mentality. He has that Michael Jordan mentality.
Mhm.
He locks in, and he's only worrying about getting 1% better every day. This is Coach Dante coming up. All right. He's only worried about getting 1% better every day. And I love him for that.
And listen, these are the only opposing teams, if we play them this year, that I will be fair, impartial, and respectful about. The Ravens, the Browns, the Lions, the
Mhm.
Jaguars, the Dolphins, the Patriots, the Saints, the Jets, and the Titans. The rest of y'all, it's on site.
Yeah.
On site.
So you think the Browns because it's Shakur?
No, these are the
No,
people
because
that
these are the teams that
voted our side.
Oh, okay,
Right.
got you. I
they're
got
the teams
you.
that vote our side.
Our tush push defenders. These are our dogs. These are the people
Right.
that win or lose, whatever it is, what it is.
But they still get belts to asses though.
Yeah, they
They're
do.
gonna
They,
catch
they
belt
definitely.
ass, but they're going to have a level of respect with that ass whooping that they'll take. You feel me?
Yeah, yeah,
These
I
other
feel
ones,
that.
nope.
I told people stop trying to stop the tush push in the boardroom and stop it on the field.
I love
Okay, stop trying to
Put that on
stop
a
it in the
t-shirt.
boardroom and stop it on the field. So that's out of the way. Yeah, but I wasn't worried even if they had taken it away because I was making a case to people that look, we converted the most fourth downs in Doug Peterson's era, and we weren't even doing the tush push. It's not
Mhm.
something that we don't do. We convert fourth downs. I probably think that we started the trend of so many teams going for it on fourth down when Doug Peterson was here. He
Yep.
started that trend.
He
So
gave them he injected something into the league that made the games more exciting and made them press to actually produce really good plays and have clutch plays. You feel what I'm saying? Not just clutch plays on the end of a game, but clutch plays throughout the game, just getting that fourth down, getting that fourth down, getting that fourth down. So shout out to Dougie P.
Yeah.
all right, we're going
He had
to let me recognize the first person in the room tonight because this show is all about you guys. It's not about us. It's for Eagles fans. It's by Eagles fans for Eagles fans. So the first person in the room tonight is Richard Boo Layton. Happy belated birthday. Richard just had a birthday not too long
happy
ago. So we're going to
belated.
wish him a happy birthday,
what's up.
Richard. And second person in the room is Christopher
crazy
Burden. What's up, Chris? What's going on?
What up?
Jack is in the house too. He says, guys, we ready. Yes, we are ready. Yes.
Ready.
Yeah. And look, he's drinking
that
his
up, Matt.
grain vodka and ultralight as usual. JT's in the house. JT, yo,
What's up?
I'm on YouTube and I'm drinking H2O. You drinking H2O? What's going on? Is everybody okay? All right. I call that Boo. Rachel's in the house too. Rachel says hello. And Eddie's in the house, my favorite Republican. Eddie, what's going on? What's going on? All right, so we have 17 games to predict. So let's get this thing kicked off. As I said before, I was 14-3 last year. Pat, Michelle, 15-2. We're going to see how this winds up. You guys let us know. You can let me know your prediction for the season. And as we go on game by game, give me a prediction for each game that we go.
Are you keeping a tally?
I have it right here.
That's going to keep the tally.
Okay, just making sure.
All right, so the first game of the year, we all know that will be on a Thursday night against home at the Link against one Dallas Cowboys, the Dallas Cowboys. So I guess I'll kick it off. I think that's going to be
Wait. Dark Knight. What are you doing? Where's the Dallas suck chant at? Where's the Dallas?
I don't have that on my.
What? We didn't cue that up?
Not
I
on
don't have
mine.
my soundboard with me.
Oh my god.
Dallas sucks. Dallas sucks.
Dallas sucks. You didn't send me that one. I don't have that one.
I'll send it to you.
All right, so we know Dallas sucks. So I'm going to take the first stab at this. I think that it's going to be a W, even with Dak coming back, supposedly healthy, and he does have a career winning record against us. I think this is one of the games where we get to tighten the gap there. I think he's like 16-9 against us, 16-10 after that game. They also have added Pickens to their wide receiver core. So now they do have two starter quality wide receivers, but it doesn't scare me. They have no run game. Their defense is porous. So I am not concerned about the Dallas Cowboys and on opening night, Thursday night. Next.
Me neither.
So I say that's a win across the board, huh?
Yeah, that's definitely.
I don't have to. I don't have to speak
We're not.
about it.
Listen.
I don't have to
Listen.
speak about it.
It'll be close. It'll be a close game, but
I don't think
we're
so.
not giving them that dub. It's just on principle. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
a principle game. That's a, we NFC East actually has the majority of the primetime games in terms of if you add them up as a group. So shout out to us for, being must-watch football, across the nation, whether it's
But
the Commandos or us or them
but
Not
Terps.
only that,
but unfortunately,
excuse me.
the Cow Turds has the most.
By one game.
But it's
Probably who they're playing too,
that's
not because
disrespectful.
it's them.
But that's disrespectful.
I know we should have the most, but it is what it is. I don't.
Yeah, it is what it is. As long as we get the silverware at the end of the year. But another fact that I don't know if you guys know about is that the Eagles have no doubt the toughest schedule in the league,
Yes, we
right?
do.
Mhm.
And
Yes,
why? Why is that? Because we are the first team that played 11 games versus playoff teams from the previous year. We have 11 games versus playoff teams from last year. So we're not playing slouches. 11 of our games are against teams that made the playoffs last year. Winning teams, we play 11 games versus them. Never done in the history of the NFL. This is the most games that any team has faced versus playoff teams for the previous year. So this is going to make it even more amazing when we accomplish what we accomplished this year.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
I
so
believe that too. So
the second game, week 2, we have the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City. Now, this is a team, as we all know, this is a team that we destroyed.
They
in the
got
Super
an
Bowl.
axe to grind. They gotta have an axe to
grind.
grind.
Yes, they are. But their axe is not going to be sharp enough when it comes to I don't see in the offseason, and we have to see how these teams have improved and changed things, but I just don't see that they've added enough to upset or to beat us in week 2. I just don't see that they've added enough. That was a thorough whipping, and it was not because of scheme.
Mm-hmm.
It was not because of brain farts. It was because our team was just more talented. Yeah, more talented and more physical. Yeah. So I don't see where they've improved their talent pool that much to compete with us. So I have that down for W2.
Well, I do too, and I'm not sure. When they do increase their talent pool, I think it needs to be someone that's going to inspire them to be more physical. They're more on execution. KC is not that punch you in the mouth team. You know what I mean? The way they punch in the mouth is, crazy scores and getting the ball out quick and those types of things. But, that's just my opinion.
Well, I kind of agree with that, but at the same time, they do have a deep threat in Isaiah. What's his name? Not Isaiah.
Pacheco?
No, Isaiah Pacheco. Since when he went down with that injury, he hasn't been the same. And Travis Kelce is not going to be the same this year. He's declining. Their deep threat, I can't remember his name. The kid, the speedster that had the 180 something yards against us in garbage time. I don't see the Kansas City making that drastic turn that fast, because it wasn't just us beating them down physically. It was us coming after their prize possession, which is their quarterback, and making them look like a backup. For 3 quarters, we made him look like a backup. So I don't.
Yes. You're talking about Worthy. That's who you're talking about, Worthy.
There was none of this.
Yeah,
There was none of
Worthy,
this head tilting stuff. None of that was happening.
No, none. He Worthy, and Worthy, don't get me wrong, he has blazing speed. He is, but his production was in garbage time. So that doesn't, I'm really, that's the one thing I'm salty about out of that game, is that he was allowed to set a rookie record, when the game was over.
But that's hogwash. Dark Knight, that's hogwash, because By the time they scored their second touchdown,
I
we were
know, that's what
throwing
I'm saying.
Gatorade on the coach.
I know. That's the point, exactly the point I'm making. Like that
Mhm.
is bogus
Yeah, it is.
stats. He put them up after the game was already over. We were playing the bench by the time he was
I
catching all
know.
those balls.
I think they're going to have a little bit of PTSD too,
Yeah,
because
oh
I
definitely.
think they're going to get the
Oh,
shakes. Like,
those.
oh gosh,
Seeing
you
those.
know how on Friday when Debo came back, nobody wanted to see Debo.
You heard
Nobody
it,
wanted
Mike.
to see Debo.
That is a perfect analogy because that's
We
what we
did
did. We
that. They don't
devoted
want to see us right now. They're not. They haven't gotten over that ass whooping. Was just a few months ago. Come on, y'all.
And we got the perfect replacement. We got the perfect replacement for Williams and that kid Ty Robinson from Nebraska. Listen. Our next show, we need to talk about these rookies because he's going to be a monster. Aziz Alari, the guy we got from the Giants, he is going to be very good for us. He's betting on us this year. Jahad Campbell, I can't wait till he's fully healthy and see what he does in training camp, not mini camp, not OTAs, in training camp. It's going to be a very spectacular defense this year. And yes, I do agree with one of the commenters said keep Cooper DeJean in the slot. He
Yes.
worked well in the
Yes.
slot.
Yeah.
Put Keely Rangel. I believe Keely Rangel will be excellent on the outside. I think he's ready. He has the speed. He has the determination. He has the playing time. He can be that opposite corner of Q to be, have our defensive backs in looking well like they did last year.
Yeah, I agree with that. I heard his press conference yesterday. He said, well, they always do this. They like to cross train a lot. So he's playing some outside and he's just told the company line by saying that he's willing to play wherever that Vic feel that they need him. And that's what anybody's supposed to say. But I would love to see him stay in the slot. He was so effective there. And it definitely is a difference in playing slot versus playing outside. Pat, you know that better than any one of us. And he excelled in the slot. Why move him? But again, and Vic, I trust in Vic wholeheartedly. I don't have any concern about the defense. Maybe a little adjustment period in the beginning of the year because they have to insert some of these players that haven't played a lot of minutes. Maybe, but Vic has proven himself to me from last year, from the splendid job that he's done, that I am not worried about what the defense is going to do. He started 2 rookies last year, 2 rookies, and hit on both of them. And that's whoever the 12 or the 11 that he puts on the field, I have the utmost confidence that they are the best 12 to be on the field.
Yes, I 100% agree with that. I know we got to get to these rest of the schedule. Jalen Hunks, I know we saw a comment. He was surprised because he moved from safety down to linebacker to defensive end, and he actually played very, very well during the postseason. He got a sack in the Super Bowl. Like we might have hit goal with that pick.
He balled.
He balled.
All right. We all have 2-0. Third week, we are playing the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams gave us a way to go in that playoff game. And had it not been for the heroics of I'm having a brain fart. What's my man name?
Pacheco?
No.
The wide receiver.
Our D tackle.
Oh, Jalen Carter.
Yeah, Carter. Yeah. So it's not for the heroics, the late game heroics of Carter. That might have been a different outcome. So we faced them in week 3.
Mm-hmm.
Only because I got my stuff. I'm going to take an L on it.
How are you?
Oh man, I'm gonna take an L.
I always feel like the Rams are kind of better in the second half of the season, so I'm gonna take that as a W.
I'm gonna tell you why it's gonna be a W. Last year, we had to worry about Cooper Kupp, and we had to worry about the other receiver, Nakua, right? Nakua is a monster at that wide receiver position.
He is.
But when you have the threat of Cooper Kupp there, it opens things up in a wide receiver game because Cooper Kupp is an MVP wide receiver. So you have to be wary of what he's going to do. He's no longer there. So the main focus on your wide receiver crew is
Nakua.
Nakua, right? And the one thing that Matthew Stafford loves to do is throw to his wide receivers.
Yeah.
What
And
wide
they're
receivers
gonna
do
be
you have there now that's going to threaten us when we put two guys on your number one?
Say
I
less.
don't know.
Pat. Say less. Well, I already picked it as a W anyway, because like I said, I feel like LA is one of those that builds themselves up into the playoffs and they're more vulnerable the first half of the season. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But I agree. Especially with Cooper Kupp going.
Yeah. I mean, you guys make a great case.
No, you already
I'm-
picked L. You
I
can't
already
switch.
picked the L. No,
Yeah, you
because
already got it there. I
my
had a
L was
W down for
coming.
you. I
My
just
L,
put it
you know,
down
I looked at the schedule, so my
My
L
L's
was
coming up
coming.
soon.
Yeah, see, my L was between. It's going to, I was saying either the Rams or the Bucks, right? But I
That's
want to
my
beat
L.
the Bucks so bad
I
that
do.
took the L. I gave the L to the Rams because I want them to beat the Bucks. So I'm going to take. We don't have to get them game by game. We just have to have the end record. So that was my initial. I was going to take the L against the Bucks, but I'm like, no, we got to beat the Bucks. Fuck that. We got to get over that. So I'm going to take the W on the Bucks. So the Bucks is week 4. So I'm taking a W on the Bucks.
Michelle?
As much as I don't want us to lose again to the Bucks and make it feel like they have our number, I think they might eke one out against us.
And I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that.
I mean? I'm not, because I remember the years when Warren Sapp played and they were a thorn in our side. We were always having problems with the Bucks. So, but that didn't stop us from, still being a playoff team, even though they kind of spoiled us once or twice, in the NFC Championship game back then.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they've always been a problem.
So you got an L on this game.
I got an L on that one. But go ahead, Pat. I don't think Pat has an L on this game.
I don't. I'll tell you this right now. No, I don't believe we're going to lose this game because Jalen Hurts and this football team has something against that football team in Tampa Bay. All right.
Paybacks.
All right. Payback is a mother, and we know, we got to get back and knock these dudes over the head. All right. Tampa Bay has been our kryptonite in the playoffs twice, has smacked us around and made everybody look human. Whether it be Jalen Hurts with no wide receivers or Jalen Hurts, he can't read defenses. You hear this, and this upsets you. As a quarterback, Jalen Hurts is trying to get better each and every week, and I think this is going to be one of those games we say, oh, wow, he is an elite quarterback.
All right, so Pat has us down for, what do you have us down? 4-0?
4-0.
Michelle and myself are 3-1.
We're 3-1.
All right. This next week against the Denver Broncos, I got a W there. I don't even have much to say. I know they're an up-and-coming team.
You can move these next few games kind of fast, but the Broncos is a W. A Giants.
Well, before we go to the next game, because we got to break the quarter up at the Broncos. Yeah. But the thing about it is, the Broncos is an up-and-coming team. They have a very quarterback.
They are. They're not beating us.
They're not going to beat us. They definitely not going to beat us. But at the same time, I do think this game is going to be a tough game. I think we're going to spend all our energy down there in Raymond James Stadium with Tampa Bay. That we're going to make it tough on ourselves against the Denver Broncos when we should never make it that tough. So
it might be a winning
game. Oh yeah, we're winning.
Yeah, we're winning. Thanks for the commentary. That's everything I was thinking. They're an up-and-coming team. Quarterback, they seem to have the quarterback of the future, but even with all that, I don't think they're ready to run with the big dogs, and we're the big dogs. So, not week 5. No, Giants. Let's do the Giants real quick, and then we'll go to a break in that quarter. So the Giants win. W. Not much to say. I know they just added the most talented defensive player in the draft this year. Maybe we'll see a little more defensive pressure, but I'm not very scared of that. We have the best offensive line in football, and I just don't see enough of an improvement on the offensive side of the ball where they're going to make any type of difference. So I got a W against the Giants.
Michelle?
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody's.
All right, so I have something to say about this. So Carter is going to be a monster, not this year. But we looked at them last year when they got Brian Burns and they had Tabitho and they had Laurie. They had all these defensive ends. They had Dexter Lawrence, what they call the best defensive tackle in football, which I definitely disagree with. And their defense got shredded. Saquon Barkley almost went for a personal record against them. So yes, this is a W for us.
Yeah, you didn't say all that.
I know. Pat, but it's going. Pat going to take us. He's going to take us to the limit. We're not getting out of here. We're not getting out of here early. Not dealing with Pat and that damn Woodford Reserve. We're going to be here the whole hour. All right. So here we go. We're going to end this quarter.
And that's the end of the quarter.
All right, you're listening to Eagles Talk, the number one Eagles coverage show on Facebook that's by Eagles fans, for Eagles fans, and here on Eagles Talk, we like to talk about our favorite football team, that is the Philadelphia Eagles. We do so in such a relaxed manner, and we enjoy our favorite adult beverage. As you can tell, Pat's really enjoying his favorite adult beverage, and that is Woodford Reserve. He's doing the Woodford Reserve. Michelle's doing the lemon drop shots, and I am doing cranberry juice. So you guys, let me know what you're doing out there, and let's lift our glasses to our 2024 Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. Everyone, down the hatch. 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the second quarter.
All right, so let's do a recap so far after 6 games. No, Pat, you tell us what are the records.
All right, so Dark Knight, you're 5-1. Yeah, 5-1.
We're all 5-1.
No, I'm 6-0.
Oh, that's right.
I'm 6-0. Listen, I might be drinking, but I'm 6-0.
All right. So this next stretch of games. All right, so that was week 6. Sorry, week 7, we have the Minnesota Vikings. I'll let Michelle go first.
Oh, for the Vikings, that's a W. That's a W for me. I know the Vikings are a formidable adversary, if you will. However, I think it's almost a situation how I feel how Tampa has us by the balls. I feel like we kind of got the Vikings by the balls and we have their number. And is that a night? Oh, they lucky it's a day game. If it was night, we'd be blowing them out. I have that as a W.
Yeah, we play there. So I do agree with everything you just said, Michelle. But we're gonna be blessing the new quarterback that they brought in there, JJ McCarthy. So we're gonna give him a blessing as rookie that he's going to be. Jay Jettas, I know Darius Slade not here. He might get off. He might have a great game. Jordan Addison is a very good wide receiver, but if they're going against Cooper DeJean, Q Mitchell, they're not getting that many yards.
Blankenship are exciting. Well, they got a new podcast, Exciting Mikes. Exciting Mikes.
Yeah. I do agree with everything you said, and I think our offense only losing, our left guard, right guard. I'm sorry. I think we will still be able to pretty much beat them down because they're not as talented as they were 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I have this down for a W also. Young quarterback. I don't think he's going to fare well against this defense. We get after young quarterbacks, and
we do.
And it's going to be too much heat in the kitchen. I don't think he's going to stand a chance.
No.
So I got us down for a W. All right, next week 8. Again versus the New York Giants. They're
going to be tired from the first ass whooping. Like that's not even enough time to wait to play us again for them. But that's just me. That's a W for me.
All right, W for Michelle. I don't have a lot to say on this. Same W.
I do have a lot to say. I think it's gonna be the first game. No, I think this is gonna be the first game where they put their rookie in there, Jason Dart, because Russell Wilson gonna be messing up. They're gonna try to put Justin Fields in there. He's gonna be messing up. No, Justin Fields played for the Jets. My bad. Jameis Wilson, he's gonna be throwing interceptions like he normally does. They're gonna want to see the rookie, and this is gonna be the game where they want to see the rookie, and the rookie is gonna be trash.
Probably
Yes.
hurt,
W.
but I digress.
And that may be the case. By that week, we might be looking at seeing Dart. We understand that they presumably drafted who they think may be their quarterback of the future. Russell Wilson is a bridge quarterback at this point. And if they are not fared well, we may just see Dart by that game. That's a great prediction right there, Pat. But we still take belt to asses. So I'll give us a W. And we're done with the Giants. Very early in the season, too. That would have been our second game against the Giants by week 8. And normally we play them a couple times near the end of the season, but you know that they reserved that right for the Skins now because we have a hot rivalry I'm sorry, not the Skins, the Commanders. I'm so sorry. So they reserved those late season games against the Commanders. So I have us down to 7-1 after 8 weeks of ball, and Michelle matches me, and Pat still has us undefeated, 8-0. So then we go into a bye, which I think is a great time for a bye for us. Right in the middle of the season. Last year we had one early in the season. This time we get one right in the middle of the season. Be a great time to take a break. But after that break, it gets a little hard. This may be the toughest stretch, I think, of 3 games that we have. And we come out of that break and we play the Green Bay Packers at Green Bay. Pat, what do you say?
We busting their ass.
Period.
All right. This is first. This is not anything that we've seen before. We're busting their ass in every single aspect, and we're going to run the tush push on second down.
On site.
On second down.
On site.
After we get the ball, just to say screw you, and you changing the terms and the wordage of what you want to ban because you can't stop it. All right.
On site.
We're going to bust that ass.
This is for that
Eagles
stupid
winning.
vote. Just because of that vote.
Yes.
Just because you tried to stop it, we're gonna win with it.
I really think we're gonna shove for 3 downs. We'll do quarterbacks tush push for 3 downs. This is rubbing it in their face. I would do it. I would literally do that.
I think also we beat up on the Green Bay Packers. One thing I know we mentioned it before we started going over these game by game predictions, but this is the time to mention that we are bullies. We're bullies, and I don't think the Green Bay Packers are physical enough for us. I just think that we overpower them. We've done it. We've done it 2 times last year, and this team is going to be just as intimidating as they were last year. Let's face it. This team is, we're not a finesse team, not even on the offensive side of the ball. We're not a finesse team. We are and get in your face and just overpower. Give me your lunch money. Give me them sneaks. Run them sneaks. Run what's in your pockets. Give us all that. That's us. Give us all that. Run them pockets. Give us the sneaks and your lunch money. This is how we're running through people.
Right?
So,
we
yeah,
taking
I'm
your
telling
sneaks,
you.
we taking your
We're
chain.
taking everything. So
Run
I
that.
got us down for a W, man.
Run that. Yeah,
Run
I
that.
mean, like I said, Green Bay, like, come on, yo.
Hawk smash. We got it. We got it.
It's
Bust their ass.
We're just gonna be mad about how stupid they're being about, not once but twice. They tried it twice. It wasn't like this was the only time they had to vote. They got a little bit closer this time, but that's why they're taking that L. Just on GP, as we say in the hood.
General purposes.
All right. So that'll be the first game of this 3-game tough stretch because when I said we play 11 games versus playoff teams this 3-game stretch. Well, no. All right.
This
So the next game is against the Detroit Lions.
This next game, rough.
That's rough.
Gonna be
I'm
tough.
going to take an L.
Ooh.
Mm.
I'm going to take
I
an
gotta go
L.
last on this one. Dark Knight in the show. Let's show what you think.
Mm. I think it's going to be an overtime game, but I think we win. So I'm going to take that as a W.
Okay.
This was the big
Dark Knight
boss.
with 2 losses. So
This is
all right.
not boss's boss's boss.
All these teams talk about
yeah,
our
yeah,
Super
no,
Bowl
you seem
champions.
like the
All
top
these
guy.
teams talking about if we
Two people
would have
jail.
played, if we could have, would have, should have, could have, whatever. It doesn't
Exactly.
matter. All right. You
Exactly.
lost to the Washington Commanders, and therefore you were not the better team against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
You didn't make it to the NFC Championship
Get
game.
rid of them,
Then
but
you
be
get out
kind.
against the
kind.
Washington Commanders. All right. So
Listen.
don't come for us when we didn't send for you. With that being said, this is another personal game because for the past year or so, the Detroit Lions have been talking smack
You know what
about
I'm
the
saying?
Philadelphia Eagles for absolutely no reason. No reason whatsoever.
And I'm not.
I
I'm
think
not
that's
trying to
another.
fire anybody. Unless it gets to the point where
It's
I'm
personal
like,
now.
you know, and I'm
Well, all right. Let me give you my reason here.
I'm getting it.
It's very, very true that the Commanders upset the Lions last year, but not very shocking to me with the shape that the Lions were in when the Commanders faced them. Now, the Commanders were hot. Their quarterback is definitely that guy. He's going to be a pain in our asses for a decade at least, but he faced them at a great time. The Detroit Lions were a top-notch team, a high-caliber team. They just suffered a lot of injuries, and by the time they saw the Commanders, their injuries had just amassed so much that they did not have enough to get over the hump. Now, with that being said, this year they come back, and they have their best defensive player, and they have all their tools. It's going to be a rougher ride for us at home. So, with that being said, and I do have a record, a number in my head of what I think the Eagles will be. This is just one spot that I think that we may take it out. So, with that in mind,
I understand. I get your logic, but I don't see it. Adrian Hutchinson is coming back from a devastating break of a leg. Like that leg breaking, it was devastating. I don't care how much you rehab. In your mind, you're gonna think about it. In your mind, you're gonna think about it, and you're not gonna be as explosive as you want to be. And all these
week 11, he's still gonna be thinking about week 11.
Absolutely. Absolutely, because you're gonna be worrying about getting leg whipped, and if that leg is
by week 11, Pat.
By week 11,
not the first 5 weeks he won't be passive.
Absolutely not. He's still gonna be passive.
We talk about almost the end of the season. He's still gonna be thinking about it.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm just checking.
Yes, sir.
I'm just checking.
Yo, those type of injuries get in athletes' mind.
I know. I had one
with their whole mechanism, how they prepare, how they do things. Because now, even though it is 100%, they still have some worry and some doubt in their minds. And even though they get tested and it feels good, every time you step on a field, you have that same concern, and it gets in their heads. It's a superstition to a lot of these athletes that we cannot change that, no matter how much you can. Just look at Carson Wentz, the perfect example. Before the injury, Carson Wentz was dynamic. He looked like the prototypical quarterback that everybody in the NFL wanted. He could run. He had deep arm, and he made plays. After that injury, he was Ryan Tannehill.
I agree that he had mental problems, but I don't know if it had to do with his injury. I don't know about that. He had mental problems. But
I gotta tell y'all something though. I gotta give you the linchpin of why why the Detroit Lions are not going to be full strength for us, because we're the end. Like, we're in their gauntlet. First, they got the Bengals, the Chiefs, the Bucks, the Vikings, the Commanders. Before then, they play us.
So it's not just It's not just us going
That's
through
good
it.
research right there in the show.
You,
That's
you know
good
what I'm
research.
saying? So when we
Yeah.
talk, we only look at it from our perspective. But
Yeah.
after playing the Vikings, the Bucks, the Commanders, the Chiefs, and the Bengals, and then you got to come see us, the Chiefs.
We ain't doing this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
And then I don't know, like I got a number in my head, so I just gave us an L there. But another
I got
thing,
that. I got that as a W because
it's not a it's
gonna need a
not
break.
actually cold weather either. So that's something else. Like had it been in
Man,
December, I
Dark
would have
Knight,
been
it's
something.
June and it was 50 degrees outside.
It's what?
It's June. It's 50 degrees
95
outside.
degrees.
I know. I don't remember it being cold last Thanksgiving. No.
I don't.
All right, so I got us down for 2 losses so far. All right,
You're 8
so
and 2 right now.
8 and 2. So the
Michelle
next
is
week we
9-1.
play the Dallas Cowboys. Pat, you can kick it off. What do you think? I know what Pat got. Pat got every game is a W.
They
Go.
have Miles Sanders, and that's all I needed to say, right? They wanted to get a run game. They got Miles Sanders. They drafted some other guys, and they had opportunities to get up there and get some big time running backs. We have taken it personal against this Dallas Cowboys team. All right, right by this particular time, George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, they are hitting all cylinders. But maybe George Pickens gets injured. Maybe Dak Prescott is injured at this time, right? Maybe if we look at their schedule, they're coming off a gauntlet, and they're not as healthy as they
I'll
should
tell
be.
you.
All right, Trayvon Diggs hasn't been a very valuable cornerback since he got injured, and they got another cornerback coming off an injury who's going to be in the same boat. This is the most opportune time to sweep this team. They're not on that caliber. I don't care what Micah Parsons say. He could talk trash. Their their new guard, who's called himself the Jalen Carter stopper, is going to get dominated. Mozzie Smith, who has done nothing since he got drafted, talking about he's going to knock Saquon Barkley around. These people are talking too much. And us Philadelphia Eagles, we're the bullies of the East.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
It's a W. Easy.
You know what? I'm actually, because of their schedule, going to call it a W as well. Because they don't play nobody before they play us. They play the Broncos, then the Cardinals, then the Raiders, and then us.
They're going to lose to the Raiders. The Raiders are going to be tough this year. Oh, I'm foreshadowing something. I'm sorry.
All right, I too will give us a W in that, which would mean that we will sweep the Dallas Cowboys for the first
they
time.
Deserve it.
Did we sweep them this year?
Yeah, we did. We swept them last year.
Yeah, we swept them last year. This will be, this will be the first time we sweep them with Dak. Assuming that he stays healthy till the 12th week. So I'm putting this down.
With Dak starting.
Right, that's what I want. I want that sweep with Dak in the saddle. So we would wind up 16-11 against Dak if that happens. So I got us down for a W and sweeping the Cowboys next year. So with that being said, we move on to week 13 and the Chicago Bears.
The Bears.
New coach, and they have added some nice young talent. Gotten the quarterback a little bit more protection, and we'll have to face them and at home. And I got us down for a W.
Michelle?
Oh, I was distracted. Who that talking? Tell your brother what? Who was that?
That's my queen. That's my wife. Talking to my princess.
I'm all in the business right now. I'm like, who happened that?
Tell your wife, cousin said, hey.
I'm like, that sounds like a better conversation than we having. It's a W.
You got a W now.
Yeah.
You made it plain and simple, didn't you?
No, it's a W.
You know what?
Like, wait, so did the Bears kept their young quarterback, right?
Yes. The Bears got way better. When I
they're
say
good, but they're not where we are yet. You know what I mean?
You're right. You're 100% right. They're not close to us, but they
Nail
have
polish off Caleb. That's mean.
uh, Caleb Williams is a actually pretty good quarterback. They were very idiotic for picking up the tight end Colson Loveland. What's his name? Colson Loveland from Michigan instead of going Tyler Warren from Penn State. It's more dynamic tight end. It's a better tight end. It's more fits your style than the guy from Michigan. Um, they have a good wide receiver in core. I was leaning to us losing this particular game. I was leaning that way.
Blasphemy.
Because I kept looking at their roster. I'm like, they got some good guys. I mean, you just look at their roster. Grady Jarrett is, he's coming from Atlanta. DJ Moore has always been a big time guy. Cole Kmet is gonna be their starter. They got Jonathan Jaquan Brisker. They got some good guys. TJ Edwards is a linebacker, but yeah, we beat the Bears. The Bears. We beat the Bears.
And not to mention their new head coach is the former offensive coordinator, is it not? From Detroit? Is that where he went?
Yes.
Yeah, so Caleb may see an uptick in his production with that
He will.
dynamic offensive coordinator because he did wonders in Detroit. He had Detroit's offense operating at a very, very high level. And with that, we'll end the quarter. So,
And that's the end of the quarter.
all right. So, Pat, recap. What is the records? What are the records? I'm sorry.
Right now, you are 10-2. For Nichelle, you are 11-1. For your super 12-0.
12-0. Okay.
I'm more realistic. My prediction is more realistic.
You said that out loud. You know people can
I
hear
know.
you.
Yeah, people can hear that. All right. So you are watching Eagles Talk, the annual schedule release prediction show. And here on Eagles Talk, we like to talk about our favorite football team. That is the Philadelphia Eagles. We do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. Pat is doing the Woodford Reserve. Michelle is doing the lemon drop shots. And I am doing cranberry. All right, so everybody, raise your glasses and let's salute us. Let's salute us. We had a great year last year ourselves. That team doesn't do what it did without the energy and the spirit of us fans. So let's give ourselves a round of applause
That's right.
and a salute. All right. So down the hatch. 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the third quarter.
And as I mentioned all throughout last year, enjoy the ride. We always have to enjoy the ride. And that was an incredible ride last year, experiencing that whole season and the domination that took place, the hate that went on throughout the season. I don't think we never got our adequate respect until actually after the Super Bowl. It took us having to beat down the Kansas City Chiefs before people actually said we were a great team. Now, we knew that way before.
They still don't say it, though. That's the joke.
Man, well, from my adversaries, I heard it only after the Super Bowl. Now, we were great all year. We were doing this all year. Save for the first 4 games was when we looked probably the weakest. But after that 4th game, it was total domination after that.
It was on
total domination. And for them not to respect us, not in the playoff, not in the Super Bowl, was disrespectful. And it was only until that smackdown in the Super Bowl that I heard anybody give us credit. So we're going into this year, and they are looking for us to fall off. They really are. They've given us the toughest schedule in league history, not just this year. I just told you what it involves. 11 games against playoff teams from the previous year. This is the hardest schedule in league history. This has never been done before. And we're going to show them what we can do with that schedule. So starting it off now, we're in week 14. And we are at the Los Angeles Chargers, who had done well under Harbaugh's first year in Los Angeles. They made the
Yeah.
playoffs. And we faced them on my brother's birthday, as a matter of fact, in Los Angeles. Pat, what do you have? Well, we all know what Pat has. Let's go to Nichelle. Nichelle, what do you? I'm only kidding. Go.
The Chargers.
The
Yeah.
Chargers. It's a W, folks.
Yeah, it's the Chargers. You know, they're a good team, but
They
like I
are a good
said,
team.
we are in a whole nother stratosphere right here, and I don't think people. I think people discount it. They're like, oh, but you lost this. Yeah, but it's just it's really how they kept this core group together, how the defense has bought into what Fangio's selling, and now we know for 100% sure it's not a matter of who the OC is right now. Our quarterback leads this offense, you know. So it's going to be we are the team to beat. I'm not saying we are unbeatable, totally unbeatable, but I think some of these teams are going to have a problem. And I don't and I think Chargers is one of the most more physical West Coast teams, but they still don't match our vibe when it comes to that, and they're not going to. Oh, that's nice. They're not winning that game. We might have more Eagles fans at that Chargers game.
We
Real
will.
talk.
Yeah, according to
That's
Tony
another thing.
Barron.
It might be a home game for us, you know.
Yes, I have us down for a W also. Not saying that it's going to be anything, and don't get it twisted. I know that we're not spending a lot of time on giving analysis about how the game may turn out, but I don't think that all these games that we predicted as a win are going to be easy games. Don't get it twisted. They're going to be
Not at
tough
all.
games, and this is one of the teams that I see playing physical also. And you know, we're the bullies. I just said that, but this is a team coached by Harbaugh. He always has physical teams, so this may be one of those heavyweight fights, but I don't think they'll have enough to outslug us, and I'm going to count that as a W.
Yeah.
You did what?
All right, so Pat, what do you got us down for?
I guess for
11 and
W.
2?
I'm 13-0.
Yeah, 13 and 0. 11 and 2.
Pat's running
Michelle
the
is
table.
Oh, you're
12
11.
and 1.
You're 11 and 2.
I'm 11 and 2. Yeah, Michelle's 12 and 1, 11 and 2, and
Pat's
13 and
running
0.
these tables.
All right, so here we go. Last 4 games. And we face the Las Vegas Raiders here at home against the who's their quarterback now? Is it Geno Smith?
Geno Smith, the one and only Geno Smith.
Quarterback, and out in Las Vegas now.
Mhm.
And who did they pick up in the draft? Didn't they get a?
They picked up a dynamic player and running back. What's his name? Alshon Gently.
Yeah.
I believe he should have won a Heisman. As much as Travis has done with the Colorado and the Jackson State, Gently was 100 yards off the all-time rushing record in college football history that was set by Barry Sanders of 2,600 rushing yards. He should have won it. But with that being said, I mean, when I look at their roster, look what they're doing, what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it a mean team. They're trying to bring back the old school Raiders. Like, you know, you got Michael Meyer, the tight end. You got their other Brock Bowers, their tight end that had over 100 receptions, and you know he led tight ends in receiving yards last year. Like, these guys are coming to play. Max Crosby, which I thought might be an Eagle. I thought he was going to be Eagle. I lied to you. I sit here right now. I thought he was going to be Eagle. Geno Smith is nothing to laugh about. They got one of the best defensive tackles in free agency in Christian Wilkerson from the Miami Dolphins. He's a monster at defensive tackle. They're going to be coming off playing the Denver Broncos. And they're going to be heated because they're going to lose against the Broncos. So they need to get a win in order to get back into, a wild card position. Because after that, they play. I think they play the Chargers after that particular game. Let me see.
Mhm.
No, they play the Texans. So they need to win that game in order to get into the wild. They're going to be gunning for us. Right now, I got us 13-0. And we always ask, what game is our trap game? For me, I think this game is our trap game. And
The Raiders.
I think we lose it to the Raiders in a close game, in a sad game at that we shouldn't lose. But at the same time, we take that L.
I think you just want to bring drama to it, Pat. We
I
ain't
do.
losing to the damn Raiders.
We listen. It's
play
gonna
too much.
it's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be, if you look at the Raiders and look at their makeup, right? They have some ballers. They have some ballers on that side. That tight end itself, if we don't solidify that second tight end safety position by that time that we're playing them, if Sidney Brown is not playing up to that position, because we didn't go get Justin Simmons, and we got to put our rookie in there, and he got a guard against a Brock Bowers, who's one, if not the best tight end in football now as a rookie. He will be the best tight end in the NFL. We are going to get shredded. We're going to get shredded. I'll be honest.
I'm not mad at you for calling that L. I'm more focused on the end number of in my case, right? So I'm looking at, I have a record in mind. So I don't care where the losses come from. That's not a bad call right there, right? Because out of that, that's going to be a tough game, although they're not a playoff team from the previous year. But then we follow that with 3 tough games to end the season.
Correct.
And I have us amassing 2 more losses. So that wouldn't be a bad place to place one of them. But I'm not. So I'm going to take that as a W. I'm going to take that one as a W.
Hey Tony, I'll have to book the room. Shout out to my wife. I'll let her book it.
He's already booked that room again in Tennessee to watch the parade.
Listen,
yeah.
That was great. That was
all right, Michelle. Did you count that as a W?
The Raiders? Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
I don't know what.
All right, so we got that. So now
he wants
this
this
is
drama. This
trap
say
game.
we lost
It's a
to
trap
some
game.
last team.
We're looking ahead to the next game the Dark Knight is about to talk about.
Yeah, week 16, we take on the Washington Commanders in Washington. Now that last year turned out to be our rival, our new rival in the NFC East.
Yeah.
It's not the Cowboys. I'm sorry. Their window is closed to me. But the Washington Commanders are going to be our stiffest competition in the NFC East. And it was the rivalry was forged last year, 3 games against them. And we went 2-1. So this will be the first game of our season with the Commanders at Washington. Pat, what do you have us down?
Listen, the Commanders is a formidable foe. All right, this is going to be a very good game. It's going to be a tight game. We're on Fox that day. It's going to be a night game. Listen, it's going to be a night game because they got TB to be announced later, right? They're gonna bounce that game into a night game, into their prime time filler. Because the Commies, they're going to be a respectable team. Are they going to be as good as they were last year? Because they won a lot of games at the end of the game. Absolutely not. Will they be fighting for a playoff spot? Most likely. But I think our Philadelphia Eagles, again, we are the bullies. We were looking over the Raiders to this game, and that's why we lost to the Raiders. And I think we come to the game even more mad, more upset more discerned that we didn't win against the Raiders because of our talent, that we go ahead and just, you know what, smack these youngins down. Philadelphia's win.
All right, and what say you, Michelle?
Well, I think it's going to be a tough game, and I'm just going to call both of these at once. And I think we actually split with the Commanders this year. I do think it's still going to be a tough game. I think they like you said, they have reached rival status. I think they're going to, because they do have a lot of young players, I think they're going to have an axe to grind because of that ass whooping that we gave them in the playoffs. I mean, we kind of made them look silly. So, you know,
Not kind of.
we did.
Double nickel on them.
Double nickel is not kind of.
The double nickel on them. So I think there's a possibility that we take this L on this one.
Yeah, and I echo that. They are our rivals, and they are not our rivals just because they have a dynamic young quarterback. It's more than that, and they do have a dynamic young quarterback, but it's more than that. Their coach has brought a new attitude to Washington we haven't seen in a long time. The attitude, and I would venture to say that they played a similar physical style of football. Like our games with them last year just reminded me of the NFC East football from the 90s. You know what I mean? Like when we were all good and it was just physicality all over. That's what our 3 games against them reminded me, except for the playoff game. We just crushed them. But those games before that, people were getting snot knocked out of their noses. And I think we're going to see more of that this year. They did go out and get Deebo Samuels. They did go out and shore up the offensive line. And they did add some defensive players. So it's not going to be a game that I think we walk over them. I'm giving us an L on this week because I got a splitting with them this year also. So I'm going to take an L there.
Wow.
All right. So next, we face Josh Allen, the reigning MVP of the league, and those Buffalo Bills, who are always tough. And we have to go up and see them in Buffalo. Now, one thing about it, we don't worry about the cold because we that doesn't affect us. We play in the cold, so that's not anything I'm worried about. But it is the Buffalo Bills, and they are a formidable foe. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And they are a formidable foe. Michelle, what do you have?
I actually have us winning because of that. People don't respect Jalen as they talk about, Josh Allen. So I think the team's going to get up to make sure Jalen get this win over Josh Allen for that game. And like I said, we're not afraid of the cold. We're not afraid of the Bills. Let's be real about it. Not saying they're not a great team. They're one of the best teams in the AFC. Got it. But I don't think that day is going to be their day.
Yeah, we got one. Yes,
so I think it's going to be a point because the quarterback talk leading up to it is going to be so hype, and the whole time they're probably going to be like, "Well, Josh Allen's the MVP, Jalen Hurts the MVP of the Super Bowl with a ring that Josh Allen does not have, and hasn't been there. And Jalen Hurts has been to the Super Bowl twice, so I think this is going to be another instance where he shows out. And we have to show why he should be in the same conversation as the other QBs that y'all think are so much greater.
I 100% agree with you. Jalen Hurts, to the top 5 quarterbacks, has only lost once. And that was in the Super Bowl. Let's go back and look at the top 4 quarterbacks. Who is it?
Say it again.
Who are the top 4 quarterbacks they got up there? Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and what's the 4th one? Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson, yeah.
Well, last year he beat Lamar Jackson. He beat Joe Burrow. He beat Pat Mahomes. And the year before that, he beat Josh Allen. The only time he lost against those top 4 quarterbacks was in the Super Bowl, and he still outperformed
Pat
that
Mahomes, he
quarterback.
lost to him.
All right.
Mhm.
They can't see him. Look, the
The
MVP with the
thing
ring.
about Jalen Hurts is that he wins games that people say, "Oh my goodness, he's only thrown for 122 yards." No, he's winning the football game. We want wins over stats. When you look at people talking about Eli Manning should be a Hall of Fame quarterback, it's because he has 2 Super Bowls over Tom Brady. If you look at his stats in his regular season, it's terrible. When he went to the first Super Bowl, the team was 9-7. So, with that being said, we go to Buffalo. It's gonna be cold. It's not gonna be no snow on the ground. It's gonna be cold. Josh Allen won't have any receivers. Keon Coleman is not going to be what they need him to be, and therefore Josh Allen's going to. They have no running game besides their quarterback. Josh Allen's going to have to beat the whole offense, and we're going to dominate this game, and we're going to win this game going away. This is a W for us.
A W for us. Oh man, you guys kind of making me want to change my mind here.
Yeah, hey,
My goodness, this is a tough one.
it is a tough one, but
this
know.
this is such a tough. I think the Buffalo Bills has, they could win the game. I mean, they are one of those teams I think that could win the game. My dilemma here, because we're at the end of the season now, so I can spill the beans on what I predict us as a season. I predict this at 13-4, right? But we're at a point where this will be my 4th loss. This will be right on schedule of what I got for the season. I just have a tough time in giving our team 2 losses at the end of the year. I mean, this close back to back. I just don't see us doing that.
It's not happening.
So I'm going to have to change, and I'm going to have to give us a W only off of the strength that I just don't see back-to-back losses this late in the year, getting prepared to go into the playoffs. And that's the only reason why I'm going to step back my 13-4 record, and I'm going to give us a W here against the Buffalo Bills because I don't see us. If we lose to the Washington Commanders, I just don't. This team just doesn't strike me as a team that comes out and loses 2 in a row. It doesn't. So I'm going to give us a W up in Buffalo, especially after a loss in Washington. We bounce back, and we do not want to go into the playoffs with 2-game losing streak or, 2 games in a row. All right, so I'll give us a W there. Last game of the season against the Washington Commanders at home. Now, let me just back up a little bit. A reason why it could possibly be a L up in Buffalo is of the physicality I just talked about, right, against the Commanders. That's going to be a game. If we do lose, we are going to be pretty beat up going up there to Buffalo.
Yeah,
and
with
Buffalo,
an attitude.
Yeah, with an attitude, a little bruised up. And Buffalo does play a physical style of football. I'm not going to change, but I just had to throw that into the mix. I'm not changing.
Yeah, I'm just saying, that's just me.
All right, so Washington Commanders in the game. I think that this game will mean something because I think that the Washington Commanders are for real. So by the end of the year, I don't think this will be a situation where it'll be locked up, so to speak. So I'm going to say we're going to win. I give us a W there. I'm going to give us a W there. Pat, what do you want? What do you got?
I see us understanding the assignment. If we don't beat Washington, they get into the playoffs. If we let Washington beat us, they get in as a wild card team. I can see what we could understand that we don't want Washington in the playoffs because they are now playing at a high clip. And we come in there, we really don't need to win the game, but for some odd reason, Nick Sirianni say, "F this. We need to get our mojo back. We almost won the game against the Bills, but we need to get better." And I think we win this game.
Now, Pat, you already got us at like 16-1. You think if we're 16-1, we're going to need that game? You're not making sense.
Okay.
Because if we're 16-1, I don't have the Commanders being 16-1.
Well,
I don't have
I
them
literally
being
had us
around here.
being undefeated at one point. Then I looked at the Raiders and I thought about it. I said the Raiders might beat us because we're looking at the commies, the Bills, and the commies again. Do we need this game? We probably won't need this game. So, is there a chance that we lose this game? Yes. So therefore, I say we lose this game. All right. Okay. I get. Okay. We lose this game. Okay. All right.
I don't want you to change. I'm just pointing out the philosophy. You just gave us a scenario that we're going to need this game, but you have us down to 16-1.
I just thought about it. We're not going to need this game. We're going to have enough of my backups in this game. Everybody's not playing. We don't need this game. And Washington's going to win this game and end up still not making the playoffs because another team is going to make the playoffs over them. So yeah. Go ahead, Nichelle.
All right, Nichelle.
I have us winning because of what happened last time.
Yes.
I think we're going to win the last game, period. Even if we're playing backups. So that's just me.
Me and Nichelle are always on the same page. You know that?
And that's my final score because I have pizza and I'm hungry.
All right. All right. We'll let you go. We're all going to go, actually. So let's get the final tally before we do go.
Dark Knight.
That is
14-3. Nichelle and Pat 15-2. Sound familiar?
This is exactly what we called last year. Exactly. We could have just mailed this in.
We didn't need an hour and 20 minutes to say the same
minutes.
shit.
All right. So you guys out there who's left there, tell us what's your final tally for next year. I have 14-3. Nichelle and Pat have 15-2. I see JT has 15-2. I'm so sorry, guys.
I think I saw 14-3 up there too.
14-3.
Yeah,
Jeremy.
Walt has 13-4.
Okay, that's great. 14-3. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't get to your comments too much today. Still getting in the swing of things. We've been out for a while, but we will be back. And next year, we'll be having the same conversation a year from now, where we're saying that we were right, we weren't being homerish, we were right. This team was dominant, and if this team winds up with any of the records that we have just quoted, we were going to be all-time team. Again, one of the toughest schedules in league history, according to the amount of playoff teams that we faced from the previous year. If we come out 14-3, 15-2, what can I say? What can I say? But I am so looking forward to this season. I am so looking forward to football, the OTAs. We're not going to make a big deal of it. We're not even going to talk about it because a lot of people get overexcited about seeing them play in shorts and no pads. So we're not going to get into the OTAs. We're just hearing some good things out of OTAs. And that's very, very encouraging. I did listen to Kevin Petula press conference. He didn't say, and that is the one area, and we'll talk about it in a later show, but that is the one area that I have any amount of concern about, and you guys probably are shocked to hear that, is Kevin Petula and his play calling. He's not done it in the NFL. I've not seen him do it, and I have witnessed this team with a very talented offense change play callers, and you saw a whole totally different offense. So I am a little concerned about how he's going to call play. I've seen Nick Sirianni have this office in his first year and look horrible. Hand the playbook over to Shane Steichen, and it looked great. Shane Steichen left, hand the playbook over to Brian Johnson, it sucked. And then Brian Johnson hands the playbook over to Kellen Moore and looks salvageable again, looks great again. So I am very, very concerned. Well, not very, very, but I am a little concerned about what Kevin Petula and his play calling is going to look like. I'm not even concerned about the defense. And we've
Who?
lost the most players on the defensive side of the ball. But I have all the utmost confidence in Vic Fangio and the 11 players that he put on that field. I have the confidence that they are the best 11 defensive players that we have, and his scheme, as it proved last year, is incredible. So that's all I have in the closing of this program here today. Guys, we will be back a little bit more frequently. I know we've taken the off season off, but and we can probably blame the Super Bowl tour. The team has that Super Bowl tour and they get Super Bowl fat. We're doing the same. We're having a Super Bowl tour. We've been off all season. We've not been off all season in a couple of years, but we will be back with you guys more frequently as we get closer to the season. We thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Just keep looking out, because I'll do some pop-up lives on Instagram. So keep looking out, and we'll be back in a little bit. I'm your man, Dark Knight, for Nichelle and Pat. Thanks for being here. We'll see you guys later. We're out.